It is good to be back. I am Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome. This is the free astrotheology course. I have about 1 hour. So as usual, I'm between appointments. Our course textbook is The Astrology of the Old Testament, or Lost Word Regained. Published in 1892. The author is Carl Anderson. The link is in the community post. Okay, so check the community post. You can get the link to the free PDF. We stopped on page we stopped on page 81. So we'll pick back up on page 81. We stopped on page 82. We stopped on page 82, first paragraph. So let's pick it up, first paragraph. How different from the bleeding picture and agonized features of a son who cried in agony, unheeded, quote unquote, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? This is the historical Jesus words on the cross. Okay? In excruciating pain, a remix of a beautiful natural phenomenon. Okay? So something that's beautiful was remixed into something that inspires pain and fear. Y'all see that? The twisted mind of the dark priesthood. But of course, they did that to get you, or to catch you. You're a fish, right? This is Christianity. Christianity is Pisces, the fish, the negative aspect. Okay? Christ said he would make his apostles fishers of men. That means you get caught, like a fish gets caught. So one of the ways that they're catching you, or that you got caught, is through your feeling sorry, through your having empathy for this Christ figure who suffered pain, torture, and you feel sorry for him, right? So that draws you in, and what does it do? It gets you yourself to cast yourself into the narrative transportation. And you get all emotional, wrapped up, and you start to thinking about it and rationalize it, and before you know it, you have propagandized yourself into believing the narrative that they gave you, which is just a fairy tale. And then you begin to change your life, meaning you change your values, your belief systems, and your behavior to suit or to meet up with your religious beliefs. Okay? And every time you go out and you do something you're not supposed to according to your religion, you feel guilty. Well, a lot of y'all have killed off y'all conscience. But for those of you who are in religion who haven't killed off your conscience, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You go through a guilt trip. And in that guilt trip, your physical body produces hormones. That cause you to feel what? Pain. Physical pain. Right? Maybe you're suffering from inflammation. You got arthritis, you got something else. Okay? Psychological pain. Y'all see what I mean? And then ultimately, what? A significantly shortened lifespan. Okay, y'all? And you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. Okay? Every psychology, every state of mind produces with it a characteristic set of hormones that are responsible for making you feel what you feel, emotionally and in your physical body. All right? Negative thoughts and negative emotions will surely take you out, will surely make you suffer. Okay? But anyway, let's get back on the topic. And whose votaries and believers have died in agony, unheeded by him also. So yeah, I saw this in Philippines. I think I mentioned this, I covered this paragraph in the last class. Every year, there would be people who beat themselves, even crucify themselves, bleed. Some of them would bleed out. Some of them would actually expire. Literally expire. And they would go through the streets, okay, go through the streets imitating, the Passion of Christ, getting whipped and all of that. And the guy carrying a cross is sick, very, very sick stuff, but they do it, okay? But now let's continue. The two pillars of the temple, or ark, A-R-C, ark, from the east, Aries, to the west, Libra, the kingdom of God, the royal ark degree, and Freemasonry, the royal ark. I think that's actually another secret society, too. Okay, these are the higher echelons of Freemasonry, the degrees, and they know about astrotheology. See, they are chosen ones. Okay, eyewitnesses, even though they didn't eyewitness anything. And they enter into the kingdom of God. And they live heaven on earth. In other words, all of these processes that y'all hear about, like discharging debt, going to the de facto venue, getting off whatever statutory crime they may have committed, they get off. Somebody else gets charged in their stead. Same way JC, the Christ figure, got off, right? He got off. You can read about this in the Devil's Pulpit. He was not the one who was crucified. It was the Moor, Simon the Cyrenian. Pilate arranged for JC, the Christ figure, to escape. Okay, we know this by the grammar. That's why grammar is so important. The grammar rules is so important. But that's why you're not taught grammar rules in school. There's no focus on that. I know there was not when I was there, and since I was in, K through 12, it just went down. But be that as it may, here we are. Let's continue. So the two pillars, Aries on the east, Libra on the west, are represented by the cross. So here in the book, you'll see the Tau cross. This is the Greek Tau, T-A-U, Tau cross. So Aries, Libra, spring equinox, vernal equinox, and then this line here. And then below here, the winter solstice, so Capricorn, okay? So winter in the north, or if you can imagine that line going here, winter in the south. I covered this in the last class, okay? But anyway, this is what the author is talking about. So one nail in the left hand, one nail in the right, and then one nail with the feet like this, one nail between the feet. Aries, the sacrifice is the lamb, right? The Passover lamb, right? Libra, the sacrifice is the unleavened bread. Why? Because Virgo, Scorpio. It used to be a time when there were only 10 zodiac signs, so Virgo, Scorpio. So Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Okay. Where are we? Oh, and then of course, Capricorn in the winter. All right. So regardless of what hemisphere, as you'll see as we're going to go through, regardless of what hemisphere you're in, whether it's winter in the southern hemisphere or winter in the northern hemisphere, this illustration works out. And the author's point of showing this, he's trying to provide you evidence that God's word is written in the Bible is astrology. That's his whole point. Chris writes, isn't God against astrology? No. The priesthood are against you knowing about astrology, because once you know about astrology, you'll be able to read both the Old Testament and the New Testament and understand what the text really says. The Bible is, as this author and many others have said, the best astrological treaty ever written in all time. And I can tell you from in the Ancient Ibaryath, you will see there's astrology, astronomy everywhere. The Hermetic Laws are everywhere. Constitutional principles are everywhere. I'm talking about natural law, natural phenomena, and the cosmos, okay? Everywhere. It's just hidden from you in English, in Spanish, but it's there in the Ancient Ibaryath, or the, as some people say, Phoenician Canaanite, Phoenician Hebrew, remixed, Biblical Hebrew, which is something totally different, altogether totally different. All right? So I'm giving you the real stuff, and so is this author. But you have to remember, this author is probably, from everything I can see, this author is a Freemason. He's still directing people into belief in an external God and reliance on an external God. No different than, let's say, no different than a politician, let's say, in the U.S. or an influencer in the U.S. telling you all the dirt, all the truth, the real stuff, be it 100% or 50%, but giving you the skinny on what's happening. But in the end, directs you back. You know who's a good example, and I feel sad to say this, almost don't want to say it, but it's just quite obvious. Dr. Claude Anderson. You know, he's always on Dr. Watkins' show and the Vicky show. He's always talking about black people this and black people that, and I think it's the Dancing Indian Treaty and what black people shouldn't do in terms of voting. I don't even get into this kind of stuff, but since we brought it up, I want to make the point. Okay, I want to make the point. But he's always talking about black people should do this and black people should do that. Don't vote for any party. But what did he do in the last election? After all of that SHIT talking, what did he do? Dr. Watkins, I think it's Boyce Watkins, something like that, gets him on, I think it was a live stream, and asks who the black people should vote for. Dr. Claude Anderson stumbles, well, I guess they should vote, get a Democratic Party another chance. So y'all see what I'm saying? He talked all that smack and then led you right back into the Democratic Party. Led you right back there. And then with his proposal about building the train station and all of that, y'all remember this from the Biden-Trump election? Yeah, with the Biden-Trump election, the last election. And then he wanted everybody to support like a reparations plan. I don't remember exactly. I don't keep up with this stuff, especially when I realized he was full of it. He wanted everybody to support this project he had that would enrich his family. Enrich his family. And would put I think it was a financial institution in charge of everybody's reparations. Why would you need a financial institution to be in charge of your money and give you a loan? Y'all see how? But you know, that's niggas. That's nigga, S-H-I-T. He's probably, well, y'all make of that what you want with it. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I'm not into U.S. politics and this kind of thing. I'm just making the point, okay, that the dark priesthood does not want you to know this information. Okay, because if you know it, they can't run the game like Dr. Claude Anderson ran on you, or Boyce Watkins in what I was talking. They can't run that game on you anymore. So your eyes will be open. You would no longer be looking for somebody else. Jesus, Yahweh, Yahoo, Dr. Claude Anderson, Trump. You wouldn't be looking for anybody else to save you. You'd be out here saving yourself. Using the faculties of mind that you were born with that lay dormant, that are, by definition, what makes you a god. And because you refuse to use them, because you don't know that you have them, and you think that these faculties of mind are evil, like clairvoyance, telepathy. You've been taught that these things are evil. So you have you have this capacity that you are born with, the capacity to heal yourself. And I know, I've done it. I know from experience, the capacity to heal yourself, the capacity to heal other people, the capacity to create the reality that you desire, and the situation, circumstances, conditions, etc., reality. You have this capacity, these faculties of mind, born, original equipment at birth that lay dormant because of your religious indoctrination. So when they scare you away from astrology, scare you away from other faculties of the mind by telling you that they are not ignorant, but telling you that they are evil and wicked. So now they have limited you. And this is why you see the giant man who has brown skin chained to the ground, and a bunch of little hybrid beings, Han Uman, human, Paleolithic, cavemen, Neanderthal, holding him down. Why? Because he's out of his mind. Hiram Abiff had been hit over the head, and he's in a shallow grave. Adnan Al-Qasir writes, we're told let's see, hold on. I'm looking at the comments, y'all. Hold on. The great I am is you, actually. The great I am is you. The great I am is Hermetic masculine mental energy. This is the gender, the Hermetic law of gender. It has two components: masculine mental gender, feminine mental gender. Feminine mental gender. The great I am is the masculine, the will, the nationality, the law. The feminine aspect of that energy is the subconscious mind that's always creating at the will of the Father, which is the great I am. And this natural phenomena has been remixed into a deity who calls himself the great I am, or I am that I am. It's just a remix. It's just a remix. And I tell y'all something that'll piss a lot of people off. This tetragrammaton deity was originally a moon deity. Okay? And then y'all should look up volcanoes and Vulcan. And then you should start investigating whether or not the tetragrammaton was a hybrid, was a Raphaim, was a Nephilim or Raphaim. His mama was, well, not his mama, but Jesus' mama, the historical Jesus, the Virgin Mary. She's a mistress of the sea. That's a mermaid. That's Oannes. That's Dogon. Okay, that's the deity that the Catholic, that the head of all Christianity, that they worship. Okay, the Dogons, the Oannes, the half man, half fish. Period. And she's a mistress of the sea. Okay, so you look at the iconography, you'll see Mary with a fish on her nipple. But of course, it's all mythology. They're remixing natural phenomena and creating deities out of it, and then selling it to you, repackaging it and selling it to you. A used, for example, a used toy, a used shirt. They repackage it. Maybe it's long sleeve, they cut it short. And then sell it to you. And then you buy it. Why? Because you don't even much know who you is. As my mother used to say. You don't even much know who you is. You don't know your heritage. You don't know your nationality. You don't know nothing. And because you're black, or whatever brand you are, whatever part of the planet you are, if you are an autochthonous Moor, all you know is that brand. And you've been beaten down psychologically. And every day is a struggle. You don't have time to think about who you are. You're trying to survive. Even if you're getting a good salary, you're trying to survive at the job. Right? Or what? You've done things to make yourself made to secure your position that you're ashamed of. And now you got to carry it out. Hold on, let me look through these before I go back to the text. There's like all kind of trolls in the chat. Yeah, I'm not answering any questions that do not have anything to do with our topic, okay? And I don't know if y'all are putting this stuff because you have no discipline, or if you're trying to create a problem with the algorithm by putting these type of comments in the comment section. So if you do that, I'm going to block you. Okay? And delete your comment. And if y'all obviously don't know what the meaning of God is, you need to go research the meaning of God. God is not the creator of the boundless universe. Okay? You've been misled. Don't even ask about that until you research it. Otherwise, I mean, you may as well say, is it the word of Zeus? Is it the word of Apollo? Is it the word of Odin? And God is Odin, Woden, the modern spelling of the Greek, of the Germanic deity. Okay? Etc. I mean, it's a long story. I'm not reading any of it. Y'all, I'm not reading it. Let's go back. If you're going to comment foolishness, don't put it in here. If you're going to use words like God, etc., I suggest you start studying. You can start with watching my videos and get an education. Get your words right so you can get your concepts right. Otherwise, don't put any stupidity in the comments, okay? You're just making more work for me to remove them. And don't bring your religion here. This is not a place for religion. If you want to be religious, this is not the place for you. I'm giving you what the text says without religious doctrine. If you can't accept that, bye. Go. This is not the place for you, okay? I've told you up front. Go. All right, let's continue. That on the right, that is the right hand, is Aries. That on the left is Libra. We're talking about the nails and the Tau cross. See 1 Kings chapter 7, verse 21. Quote unquote. And he set up the pillars. Okay? The pillar, the covenant of work, the covenant of labor, Aries, the vernal equinox. The second pillar, the covenant of grace. Okay? The covenant of grace. This is in the harvest, all right? So these are the two pillars. And then the royal ark, all right? From east to west, the kingdom of heaven, okay? And he set up the two pillars in the porch of the temple. In the porch of the temple. So imagine, look, you're looking at a building. Let's say City Hall, okay? You go and you see two columns. Those two columns are pillars. Those are astrological. All right, they are astrological, okay? Spring equinox, fall equinox. But what else are they? Phallic. But that's another story. But let's keep going. And he set up the right pillar and called the name Jachin. And he set up the left pillar and called the name thereof Boaz. Jachin masculine, Aries positive. Boaz feminine, Libra negative. I have to think about that, y'all. The third nail of the cross, which makes the Egyptian Tau cross, now this is what they're saying is the Egyptian Tau, but this is not, this is Greek. The Phoenician Canaanite Tau, the ancient Ibaryath Tau, is actually Tau. Is an X, okay, it's an X. So Taurus, the zodiac sign Taurus, Leo the lion, the eagle is Scorpio, and then down here at the bottom, this is the man or Aquarius, okay? So these are the cherubs, okay? At the ends, the cherubs or the cherubim, okay? And where the line meets, so this X, and then there's the Christian cross, and then the intersection of these lines here, this is the great central fire. If y'all remember the great central fire. So God dwelleth, and you know God is a loaded word. It don't mean nothing. Dwelleth what? Between the cherubs. Okay? So let's continue. The third nail of the cross, which makes the Egyptian Tau cross, is Capricorn. The nail in the feet, one over the other. And whether the sun sun be in our winter solstice or in the winter solstice for the southern hemisphere, the pillars of the temple are the same, and the Tau cross remains the same. Thus, winter north, winter south. Okay? So when you see this kind of cross in Christian iconography, that's what they're referring to. It's astrology rather. Okay? If I get time, I'll show it. Consequently, this Jachin or male and Boaz female. Okay, so what is this? The Hermetic Laws. Female and male, masculine, feminine, Zodiac, the circle of animals, the Maserat, circle of animals. So of course, it's going to say female and male, because female and male are genders for animals. Masculine and feminine are the energies of men and women who are thought made manifest from the soil. All physical phenomena, the entire universe, is different vibrations of consciousness. Consciousness condensed, okay, to form planets, to form suns, to form ants, etc. Okay, so what is man? Man is consciousness, okay, unlimited consciousness, all intelligence, all awareness, etc. Thought made manifest from the land. Genesis chapter 2 verse 7. Hence, man and the man with the womb are the substance and subject matter of the law. Period. No question about that. In contradistinction between male and female, which are human by lawful definition. Humans are monsters. Genesis chapter 1, the human, the mankind, is a human, a Han-Uman. Make the distinction. The Han-Uman is non-descendable. Okay? The father is the chimpanzee, the monkey, chimpanzee. It has no inheritance. Animals cannot inherit land. Animals can't own land. Period. Okay? It's non-descendable. It is by definition, a human by definition is a monster and cannot inherit land, although born by two people who are married. All right? Born out of a woman's womb. This is the Yaqub story. Period. Okay, Jachin, male. Boaz, female. That's a Hermetic principle of gender. The life, so for example, birth, maturation, birth, spring, maturation, summer solstice, old age and decline, the fall, equinox, and then death, right? And then the physical body, be it flesh or vegetation, breaks down and becomes nutrients in the soil. And then when the ground thaws out and the number of daylight hours increase, the next generation begins to grow. So that when all consciousness, so let's just call it the all, hermetically they call it the all, so that when the all, and they use the word creates, I will not use create because there's no beginning. Intelligence and consciousness always have been. So what happens? It's simply consciousness taking a different form, which is consistent with the law, I think it's the second law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. All right, so when that consciousness is transformed into a different thing or being, okay, that involves masculine and mental energy, always, period. Okay, so we see this reflected in astrology, the Hermetic Law. I hope everybody sees that. Okay? Consequently, this Jachin male and Boaz female, positive and negative energy, denote the current of magnetism. Ain't said nothing about religion. Denote the current of magnetism running around from east to west. Now there are whole schools of science, whole disciplines devoted to understanding and using magnetism, the science and technology around magnetism. Okay? Ain't no religion involved in this. There's no devils and demons involved in this. Where is it? Okay, you religious Hebrew Israelites, you Christians, where is it? This is nothing but nature and natural science. The heat or vital region of the world, the intersection, the place of the arc, A-R-K, or arc, G-R-A-R-C, or Grand Central God, also the abode of the sun. Well, why is it the abode? Because God dwelleth between the cherubs, the Tau cross, or the Ta in the Phoenician Canaanite, ancient Phoenician Hebrew, okay? And then the Christian cross. So the point of intersect. Let me show y'all. At some point, I'm going to stop doing all of this reviewing because it makes a lot more work for me. Y'all see that? Y'all see the Christian cross, the vertical line with the horizontal line? That's the solstitial line and the equinoctial line. And do y'all see the X? That's the Ta cross or the Tau. That's the Canadian. That's the Phoenician Canaanite. Okay? The one that looks like a T is the Greek. All right? So God dwelleth right in the center. Where you see that little circle. God dwelleth between the cherubs. All right? I explained this image several classes ago. If y'all haven't been watching, if you're new rather, start from the first class and work your way through. I explain all of this. Okay? This is knowledge that you cannot afford to have, not to have. You cannot afford to live your life without this knowledge. Okay? But how will you know? Unless you start to investigate. So let's pick it up. So that was the Grand Central God, the Grand Central S-U-N Sun. Also the abode of the sun, and is in man represented by the navel or the Libra zodiac sign. So the navel, okay, navel as in navel button, navel as in also ships. Right? So when the woman, that the whole birthing process and the birth certificate has to do with this. But what is Libra? The balance scale. So they associated the balance scales, which is justice, concretely 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night for everybody. They remixed that into what? The imbalance scales, and used it for bondage. Why? The Hermetic Law of polarity, Moors and Romans. Higher self, lower self, truth, lies, sovereignty, nationality, and birthright. Wealth, to what? Bondage, serfdom, fiat. Everybody see that? Stateless people, brands, colorable, color. Okay? Commercial. All right? See, this is the law of polarity, the law of opposites. Hot and cold. You wouldn't know hot if there wasn't cold. You wouldn't know love if there wasn't hate. You wouldn't know nationality and sovereignty if there wasn't what? Bondage and serfdom and statelessness, etc. All of this is following the Hermetic laws. It's following nature's law and nature's God, as it were. All right? It's a common expression. Also the abode of the sun, and is in man represented by the navel or the Libra sign, from which hangs all our vitality. Y'all got that? From which hangs all of our vitality, your vital energy. Take that away and what do you have? No energy, right? How about being civilly dead? How about that? Sovereignty, Civiliter Mortuus, civil dead, civilly dead. We carry, the Moors carry and civilize everyone, and we live a civil, honorable life, and the Romans do the opposite. They put people in a civilly dead state, which is religion. So nature, natural law, religion. Civilly alive, civilly dead. Constitutional treaty protections, stateless person, no constitutional, no treaty protections. The Hermetic Law of Polarity. For in all things, but keep this in mind, y'all, from which hangs all our vitality. And they got you in religion. So you have none. You have no vital energy. You're dead. You're civilly dead. Shut up, sit down, and let that attorney speak for you. Otherwise, I'm going to hold you in contempt. Or I'm going to send you for a psych evaluation. Shut up. This is what the magistrate, that's the game the magistrates play, right? When you are a black or a U.S. citizen. Okay? And which is also an ark. A-R-C. Remember, the ark is the kingdom of the heaven. So if you're not in the kingdom of the heaven, where are you at when you're civilly dead? You're in hell. Hell is dead. Hell is the debtor state. You're in hell. You're a debtor. So why don't we say it? Nationality, creditor, okay? And then we have the debtor status. No nationality, debtor. Master, quote unquote, connotatively speaking, slave. All right? There's a word I'm trying to think of that it has to do with the surf, with the serfs. It's it'll come to me. For in all things there are similitudes, and man is the microcosm as the universe is the macrocosm. All right, so the man is a reflection on a smaller scale of the universe. This is what he just said. Did y'all hear that? So that means that the Hermetic the Hermetic laws apply to you. They apply to you. So what are you? So you're also all consciousness. Right? The only difference is scale. Is scale and what functionality, right? So let's say if I have a iPod tablet, okay, it's going to have a certain functionality, which might be different than let's say the Apple computer. Is it Apple? I don't even know what they call the brands anymore. Okay, but it depends on the functionality of your avatar. The functionality of, let's say, a worm is going to be different from the functionality of a man. Right? So that means the vibration, everything's going to be different. But it's emanating from the same source. For in all things there are similitudes, and man is the microcosm and the universe is the macrocosm. Man is thought made manifest from the land. The hybrid is a simulacrum. Looks like a man, but does not have the substance of a man. In other words, it is not the substance and subject matter of the law, although it looks like a man. Right? Whether it has brown complexion or translucent complexion, a hybrid is a hybrid. Okay? It's a hybrid. It's non-descendable. It's not the substance or subject matter of the law. Therefore, it does not have the constitutional and treaty protections. Period. Okay? Except for what our ancestors may have given to it. And even that's sketchy. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking about something I don't know about, but I'm telling y'all what it appears to me to be. But that's just how it appears to me. So we can exercise our right to reversion of a state once we find out who we are in terms of our nationality. So this author is telling you that if you can understand it. But right now, the hybrid is sitting in your place, enjoying your birthright, when in fact, it's non-descendable. All right? You can plainly see that there could be no nail put through the head, else he could not have bowed it. He couldn't have bowed his head, i.e., so as to be typical of being across the line or going south of the ecliptic. For when north of the ecliptic, see top engraving, and south, see bottom of engraving. Those are the engravings, are the illustrations. I'll show them. Represented by relaxing of the body hanging from the cross. So let me show it. So this one is the sun raised. That's Jesus raised on the cross. And this is Jesus hanging. Okay, the descent or hanging from the cross. Okay? So raised on the cross is Cancer, as y'all can see. The breast. And then hanging from below the cross is what? Capricorn. There it is, Capricorn. Okay? So just remember, Aries is springing northward, rising, right? Ascending. That's the summer solstice, June 21. And so the sun is raised on the cross. Why? Because it sprung, it ascended northward to its highest elevation, okay, in space, which it achieves at June 22nd. So Jesus, or the sun, is raised on the cross, okay? And then the sun from here falls. And then on September 22nd, it crosses below and continues to fall toward the south to its lowest elevation, which it achieves at December 22nd, y'all, which is the winter solstice, which is Capricorn, which is the stronghold of Saturn, And of course, Saturn is the source of all ills, I-L-L-S, all ills. So the sun has to die. The sun has to die, right? Jesus had to die to pay for your sins, right? So the S-U-N sun dies in nature, meaning that there's no shadow cast on the sundial. And our ancient ancestors looked at that fact that no shadow is being cast from December 22nd until at the end of December 24th, the beginning of December 25th. When a shadow is cast on the sundial, they looked at that concretely and said, well, the sun must be dead. It's not casting a shadow, but it's born again, or a new sun is born on December 25th. Okay? So in this case, the sun, the S-U-N sun, Jesus dies for your sins and forgives your sins, forgives all the ills that you committed. Okay? That's what's happening there. Now let's continue. From the 4 points of this cross, draw a line touching each point, and you will have a perfect square. Y'all see that? You'll have a perfect square, hold on, which by drawing perpendiculars thereto will give you a perfect cube. Every circle or globe contains 3 perfect cubes, or contains a perfect cube rather. Every circle or globe contains a perfect cube. If you represent 2 hemispheres on a flat surface, you will get 2 squares, or the shape of the tabernacle rather. You get the shape of a tabernacle, also a Masonic lodge, and the shape of the breastplate of the priest, the breastplate of the high priest. I'm going to show that. As our modern Bible gives the description of these matters 1,490 years before Christ. Now, the modern Bible at this time was 1892. It seems somewhat remarkable that it took 1,490 years after the story of the birth of Jesus, who deputed all his power to his Roman potentates, to await the rediscovery of the oldest country on the earth, whose civilization has been buried so many years that naught but hieroglyphics unsolved, and a pyramid towering to heaven and covering 125 acres of land at Cholula, and the serpent mounds of Ohio, and Aztec temples of the Escheat sun, and trees whose great age, y'all know they cut them down, is past computation. I think he's talking about the great red, it'll come to me, can tell us of the countless centuries past. Then, when this rediscovery was made and the world again became round, away marched the flaming sword and that same quote-unquote abomination of desolation, which was set up at the taking of Jerusalem, destroyed all the hidden mysteries and wisdom of the Western ancients. Who is he talking about? Western ancients. These are the Moors. The Moors in the Maghrib al-Aqsa, the furthest west. That's us. Isn't it interesting that they talk about Jerusalem being destroyed in the same breath of the Western ancients? And if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I looked at the Washita. I think they even called themselves the ancients, right? If I remember correctly. He's talking about us. I can tell you for a fact, according to Moses, according to the book of the law, the promised land is in the Americas. Y'all watched the video that I did, the location of the promised land according to Moses. And it's not dealing with any Bible doctrine. It's a literary investigation using etymology and grammar and so on and so forth. It's not over in Africa. Okay? So you've been had. You've been bamboozled by your pastor, your minister, your reverend, your imam, your rabbi, your moray, Moshe. All these religious people have bamboozled you. Now, I'm not saying every one of them knew or knows, but a lot do. But there's no money, there's no living large off of telling you the truth. None whatsoever. Okay? And these are the type of men and women whose character is so lower self that they'll do anything. They don't feel anything for you. The only thing they feel for you is playing the role that they need, that they know that you need them to play in order for you to open up your pocketbook or to open up your wallet. Okay? In other words, they just manipulating and using you. Period. Some of them have a nerve to rationalize that they're doing it and it's helping them. For example, I remember when I was a little boy, the Nation of Islam would talk about how many people they got off of alcohol using religion, how many people they got off of drugs, out of jail using religion. Well, that's fine and dandy, but look at how you're doing it. Look at what you're costing them. Okay? Look at the real price of the lie you're telling them. If you told them the truth, they would get off the alcohol. They'd get off the drugs. If you told them the truth. Okay? So you haven't done anything. You're still injuring this man, this woman, with that toxic religion. And I'm not talking about only Islam, I'm talking about all of the religions. I'm just speaking from what I have been exposed to in my lifetime. Okay, y'all? So don't take it personal. All right? So let me say it again, y'all. Then, when this rediscovery was made and the world again became round, away marched the flaming sword, and that same quote-unquote abomination of desolation, Rome, right? The Greeks and the Romans, which was set up at the taking of Jerusalem, destroy all the hidden mysteries and wisdom of the Western ancients, as its followers had previously done to the Eastern sages and their teachings. But thank God the rubbish of the temple gets cleared away, and from under the earth truth arises in shining garments, upheld by the strong grip of the Lion of Judah, and light breaks. Brooks, hieroglyphics, angels, sun sun movements, circles, crosses, tarets, stars, 5-pointed and 6-pointed, pictures of serpents. He's talking about what? These megalithic structures you find in the Americas and the sciences. Tarets, I read that. Okay, so pictures of serpents, of the tree, and man and woman, ancient weapons, sun, sun dances, sign language, all show at some time a common brotherhood around the world. And the key is astrology, or the movements of the sun, moon, and planets. It is everywhere found in sculpture, painting, carvings, hewed in the rocks, carved in wood, pressed in metals, everywhere above the earth and under the earth, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. And like the great pyramid of Egypt, the quote-unquote very stones cry out. I don't remember if that's Jeremiah 19 or Isaiah chapter 19, where it talks about the great pyramid, okay, the great monument. So let me show y'all. Here is the circle, the squared circle. Okay, this represents the breastplate. This is the square that we talked about in the text. Y'all correlate this. I did a class on this maybe 2, 3, 4 classes ago. So the Maserat, y'all see the circle of animals, the zodiac signs, that's the circle, the Maserat. So the circle and the square. Everybody see that? This is the breastplate. What do you see? Upside down pyramid, a triangle, right side up, triangle, pyramid. So you see a bunch of pyramids, right? Y'all see that? And then, now you see another square here. And by the way, this is a sapphire stone. You see another square here. And now in the center, what do you see? In a sapphire stone, you also see this. I showed it in the class. You see the Ta or Tau, Phoenician Canaanite cross, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, the bull, Taurus the bull, Leo the lion, the head of a bull, the head of a lion, the head of an eagle, Scorpio, and the head of a man, Aquarius. These are the 4 living creatures in Ezekiel chapter 1 and in Revelation. I think it's Revelation 4, y'all. So these are the cherubim, and then where the lines intersect, that's the place where God dwelleth, the central fire, the central sun. Never moves from there. Okay? So this is a sapphire stone. This is the breastplate. Okay, I went through the colors. I went through all of that. And here's the same image. Okay, y'all see the zodiac signs? Okay, so the Maserat is the circle and the square. Okay? So here's the square in the center. Okay? And remember, this is a sapphire, this is a gem, a semi-precious stone, okay? And then we see the Ta or Tau cross, okay, y'all? Let me check the time. All right. So that's what's happening. Give me 1 second. This is the brazen serpent, the ecliptic, the brazen serpent, the ecliptic. So again, so the highest in the north, the highest north declination, that means the sun has risen to its highest height that it can go, highest elevation. It's on June 22nd. Okay, this is the summer solstice. This is the lowest declination or lowest declination. This is the winter solstice. Okay, so y'all go back and read through that again. I don't have time right now to explain it, but read this page again. When I do the next class, I may come back and go back into it. Okay, so let's go to the bottom. We're almost finished. Okay, so we just have maybe one or two more sentences and we'll be finished with the chapter. Well may the Rosicrucian say, quote unquote, sub rosa, as he views his cross with the rose in the center. See the rosy cross, Rosicrucian, quote unquote, under the rose lies the secret. The rose signifying the sun, sun, the center of the universe, the grand central deity, quote unquote, who liveth and abide forever. Okay? Who liveth and abide forever. All right, y'all. So, hey, we made it to chapter 7, y'all. So we're going to pick it up on chapter 7. Let me mark my page. So I want to congratulate everyone who has been here for all the classes. This is, for some people, very, very difficult in terms of dealing with this information. So congratulations to you. Congratulations are in order. If you've been coming here every class, or even doing your best to get here and learn this information, if you've been dealing with cognitive dissonance and you've been managing it, I want to say congratulations to you, okay? Very good job. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to pick back up on page 85, which is chapter 7. The ancients' knowledge of the sun. The ancients' knowledge of the sun. That's our title heading. No, it's not. No, it's not. Hold on. The title heading is Proof that the ancestors knew that the sun to be the grand central orb. So in other words, the ancients knew that the sun was the center of the universe, and that every calculation was made on heliocentric principles. In other words, they were using mathematics, advanced mathematics. The ancients were using advanced mathematics. These are our ancestors. So we were not stupid in math. Okay, we were not poor in math. Okay, that our people, at least when I was in North America, a lot of us got psyched out of math. We were taught that we're not good in math. Okay, or made to believe that we're not good in math. But that's impossible, because if our ancient ancestors were, so are we. Okay, so are we. Okay, same genetics, same everything. What's different? Our mindset, our state of mind. Okay? And this goes back to masculine mental energy. And that every calculation was made on heliocentric principles. The New Jerusalem, Measured by the SUN's movements, only 144,000 Jews, that's religion, that's not nation, Jews elected to be saved. That's religion. Elected to be saved, that means somebody else is going to do the saving. So you know it's religion. Okay, in other words, it's out of harmony with nature. Who's your savior? You. All the SUN Sons movements. Okay, so that's chapter 7. He has very long chapter headings. Islam to all the Moors. Thanks y'all for y'all support, for tuning in with me. Continue to subscribe to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. It's an excellent way for you to get introduced. It's a deep dive. It's a lot of information. But if you want to understand what the book of the law, what the Hebrew scriptures is all about in the original language, then you just absolutely have to go through that course, okay? So go ahead and subscribe for it. Thanks everyone for your support who have subscribed. Also, everybody's invited on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to come to my Zoom class. I teach a live class on Zoom. 506 The Curses course. We're in Deuteronomy chapter 28. So y'all, the links to both of those classes are in the description area of the video. Also, special thanks to everyone who is supporting, donating their finance to my project to write the book of the law in modern English and ancient Ibaryath, to show you the astrology, astronomy, to show you the hidden astronomy, astrology, the hidden Hermetic Laws / principles, and the hidden constitutional principles, okay? And then to show you, of course, the etymology, the grammar, all of that, all the linguistic stuff. Y'all, look in the description area of the video. You'll see everything, but not everything, but you'll see a lot of what type of content is going to be in the book of the law. But I need your support to do it. I gotta have broad support to do it, okay? Because it's a big project. It's a time. It's a commitment, a long-term commitment, okay? But anyway, thanks for y'all who have supported. If you're thinking about supporting it, go ahead and support it. Buy the books. I got links to my Ancient Ibaryath books. Get yourself educated. I have books on the 10 Commandments, 101 Phoenician Hebrew. That's the brown book. The purple books are on Deuteronomy, chapter 28, the contract, right? 911 Ibaryath Rescue, which is the pictographs and animals in the Bible, and many, many more. Y'all check it out. The links are in the description area of the video. Assalamu alaikum. Islam to all the Moors. I, self-law, am master. I'm my own savior, and so are you. Stop looking to these external deities to save you. I'll see y'all on the next one. Get out of religion.